Hi. Wait, I can't hear you. Say something now. I can't hear you. Mm, no. Try again. See, I don't know if it's my laptop or if it's you. We need a third person to check. Please. Hmm. But you can hear me well? Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Ella.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. How are you?
Good, good.
So Augusto was on, but we couldn't hear him, so he's just checking his settings.
Oh, and is Thomas there?
Not yet.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to be around 9 p.m. in Flanken time. Perhaps we are early.
No, I don't know Sri Lankan time, but I know Toronto time. It was supposed to be now.
Okay.
Did you, when I posted the universal time, did that help?
Yes, I think I converted into
Okay,
right.
so, but you're here, so that means you were right.
Yes,
I'm,
I in fact have that in my calendar, so it appears as a ring. So
okay, now I'm getting another person asking me how to get onto the, so just a second.
okay.
Hi, Augusto, I can't hear you. Maybe Dirukshi, can you hear Augusto?
No, I cannot. I can see him fluttering his mouth, but I can't hear him.
And also Firaz is asking me where to join the chat room. Now, I don't know from my end, because I started this broadcast. So perhaps one of you can post the general instructions on how to join.
How to join? Is it?
How did you end up in the chat room? How did you?
I can see that you are online and there's a chat going on in my Gmail. So,
Huh. But
yes.
how did you know to join this
I
Google
think,
Hangout?
yeah, because I think we had a chat previous time, so the Google gives me the list that I already hanged and the people who are online now. Perhaps it's,
Uh-huh. Um,
you should
uh,
have sent the link to him, the where you send the invitation.
I can, okay, I don't know if this will work. You click on Hangouts and then go to link video Hangouts. Okay, thank you. I will copy this, send it to for us. Okay, hopefully it will work. Oh, what happened with Dr. Elmore's on Hangout remarks? Did we ever see that?
I tried, but I could not see that. Anybody else who's attended that or just chat with him online?
No. I After that on Hangout. Uh, oh, hold on. Okay. Firaz is sending me a video call. Um, I'm gonna try and send Faraz another invitation. So I'm just gonna be a few minutes.
No, he still can't hear you. No.
Hmm.
What's the time in Toronto now?
It is 11:15 in the morning.
Oh, it's closer to lunch.
Almost, yes. And your time?
It's 8:45 p.m. Yeah, my
Sorry?
time. 8:45 p.m.
Okay. So your kids are almost going to bed.
Yes, almost. Have you taken Coursera courses parallel to this?
I haven't taken any other courses.
Oh, that's
This is
surprising.
my first one.
There's a quite good course called Learning to Learn or something, where they teach, or else how where they introduce how do we learn
Uh-huh.
the memory, like the diffuse memory, and then the ordinary memory that we talk, and how to think critically, and how do we improve critical thinking, stuff like that
And where is this course?
in Coursera. I'll I'll send you the link now.
Okay. So there are a few people that said they would be coming on to the chat. Um, I'm wondering if I didn't mess up the time in terms of universal time.
Hmm.
I hope not.
Yeah, but the day that you send me the message, I think I enabled my local time, so probably others would have done the same.
Because on the, I hope so.
Happy to. Guess what? What I wanted to know is like Thomas. Thomas, I met him through the other course. I think I wonder whether he remembered me because there was another course from Coursera
Mm-hmm.
where we I think kind of had lots of chats between Thomas and myself. It's
Uh-huh.
called Teaching Goes Massive course from the University of Zurich in Switzerland.
Oh.
So
And when was this?
that was, I think, a couple of months back, I guess. What interesting is the course ended up in a mess in the middle. The professor Paul Oliver Dye, he stopped the course. I think he was trying to experiment on the course,
Uh-huh.
but there was a huge mess inside the course that he could not continue with it.
Oh, so
So
sorry to
probably
hear. Hmm. And what about this course? How do you like it?
this course,
Mhm.
this course is so isolated. I think, I mean, normally the edX courses that I've taken, this is the only course that I, talk to somebody,
Uh-huh.
like in the edX platform, not the other platforms. Other the 100% engagement was there in the Novoid platform, and the Coursera was on and off, depends on the subject, and then Future Learn is zero, like it's only
Sorry, are
very.
you saying this is the first course where you are participating?
No, this is the first course in edX that I be communicating directly, sort of like face to face
Uh-huh. Oh,
in
yeah.
edX on. But I have had lots of hangouts in other courses. But edX was more isolated. The courses
Mhm.
that I've taken so far, those are most probably because of the nature of the courses. Maybe those are very theoretical courses, computer science, and then
So you can still have discussion, I think.
yeah, this course is somewhat interesting. It's more like there's no huge theory behind it, so it's
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
to walk through.
that's right. I'm just getting a message. Uh-huh. Um, Trying to see where's Firaz. What is happening? Yeah, it may be that the timing didn't work out because it's already 20 minutes into and nobody's on. So I'm thinking that maybe something was off. What do you think?
Mm, maybe I think it's it's messing up with the time, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I've sent the link for that course. But
So Simon is saying he can see me on YouTube, but he can't see the invite. So how do I do that? I guess I'll
could you
invite.
try to send the link on top of your Hangout? What would that
But which link? Do I just do?
like? I don't know. Would this work for them?
I'm going
Not.
to try to do this, if this will work. Or there's this link that I could try. And yeah, you're right, I can post on top.
Back.
Hi, we can hear you.
I don't know what happened.
uh, can someone help for us get on? And also Simon is trying to get on. So I'm gonna post this link, but I don't know if it leads to the Hangout.
Let me go on the page and see if I can.
hope it works. Even last time, the first half hour was just technical difficulties.
How was it?
Yeah.
I think I appeared on right time last time.
Okay. So the link I posted, if you click on it, does it take you to this video conference? To the one I just posted on under comments on the main page.
Yes, should lead them.
Okay. And then is there a button that you can click to join?
Yes, there will be a green. There should be a green button saying for them to join the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Oh, and Brian's here. Hi.
Hi. Yeah. Everything.
Okay, I think you. How does she spell her name? How does she pronounce? She has muted her mic.
Uh-huh. Let's see.
Hello.
Hi.
Is it audible to you people?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. We can hear you.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. In fact, after last half an hour, probably I'm the one who's not be able to connect you immediately. There is some technical issue with my hand. Is it audible to you people?
It's a little bit
Hello.
off. We can hear. I can hear
Hello,
you.
Jelena.
I can hear you.
What about the others?
So I can hear you, but it's breaking a little bit.
Oh, is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
How is it now?
Now it's better.
That's fine. Okay.
So Faraz is trying to get on as well, and he's having difficulty. But I don't know how to help him get on.
Oh, the Simon is on.
Oh, hi, Simon.
Hello.
So should we start?
Yes, I believe until.
Why don't we go like last time and everybody introduces themselves? And then we go into discussions. Okay, I will start. So my name is Jelena and I live in Toronto and I'm a teacher. And this is my first MOOC that I'm taking and I love it. I love that I can see all of you.
Okay.
Hi,
Anybody else?
my name is Ryan, and I'm from Texas, and I'm a student, but seasonally I tutor, and this is the first MOOC that I'm taking where I'm learning specifically about how to teach and how people learn.
Ryan, are you undergraduate or postgraduate college?
I'm undergraduate. I'm studying computer science with maybe a focus on data science.
Oh.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, hi, Faraz. You made it.
Yes, finally.
Who
How
was
are you,
it?
everyone?
Great. Yeah,
My cam is not working, I guess, or it's working.
it's all right. Well,
It's
not
all right.
really. It's not working. Hi, Robert. And another Robert just joined.
Oh.
So let's remove this.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Oh, hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Oh, we can see you now. So what we were doing, for those who just joined, we're just going around and introducing ourselves, and then we're going to go into discussions.
Okay.
طب روح يلا go. Go, go, go.
So whoever wants to continue introductions.
Can you hear me? Okay, who starts first?
Hmm? So we can hear somebody's, I guess, somebody's home stuff happening behind. Perhaps you can mute your microphone.
Okay.
It's very sweet. Somebody doesn't want to go to bed, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Augusto, would you like to try now? So that we I'm Augusto and I'm a teacher
Okay, so
in social studies. Okay.
okay, so it seems that some people are having trouble with their microphones. I can hear all of you.
It's Bob. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Oh, okay. I'll introduce myself. You can't?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm Bob Steen. I was at the Hangout last time. I teach college in Georgia. My classes start tomorrow. So what I'm thinking is that it's going to probably look like a really different place now that I've taken this course, just because I'm going to look at the classrooms differently, and I'm going to think about what kind of organization it is. But at the same time, it's changing all the time, so it's kind of like maybe I'm hopeful that it's going to change more toward what suits my philosophy, or maybe that I can help change it by taking on certain initiatives. So I'm glad that a lot of other people have joined since last time, and I'm looking forward to a good discussion.
Right.
Srivatsan, we haven't heard from you. Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, maybe you can't hear us. Simon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. Just fresh off holiday. Simon Fogg, I work as an IT professional, work for an IT services company, not in the education or the training sector. I've done about 6 MOOCs so far. I seem to be doing quite a few in the education space, including deeper learning, MIT's Learning Creative Learning, and I've also done an EU one called Future Classroom Scenarios, which might be of interest to those of you that are looking at the design stuff that we've been looking at latterly in this MOOC. Not sure what my future career is. I'm still working mainly as a project manager, working for end user organisations. Me.
Faraz, would you like to introduce yourself? Your mic is off.
Okay. I'm fine now?
Yep.
All right, hi everyone. I'm Firas Assad, now in Abu Dhabi, Middle East. I work in e-learning in a corporate, obviously oil company. I develop e-learning courses. I've been in the field for the last 6 years. I am IT professional for many years, more than 15 years ago. And I'm really interested in learning, and I don't like the current educational system. And I think this course fits at the right time for the right purposes. I hope like we can lead something new. Thank you. Was it clear?
Yes, we could hear you.
Okay. I'm done. That's me.
Great. Dilrukshi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Dilrukshi from Sri Lanka, and I'm a PhD student in e-learning and human-computer interaction. Actually, this is my 14th MOOC course. You see much above me from this link. And I have 2 daughters. One is just turned 1 year old, and then I think I'm also agree with Ryan, right? I don't like the education systems going on now. People should realize what we need to learn as initiative from ourselves, rather than bringing a curricula or some, it's not the HI type of learning. So I'm glad that I found this course, and I found the community which we can move on. Thanks.
Is this everyone?
I think Srivasan, right? Srivasan. We haven't heard from him.
Yeah, it's really my network is bad today. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, is it audible?
Yep.
Jelena, really sorry, team member. I'm really sorry. My network is very bad. I'm not.
I can't really hear you well. It's breaking.
Continuously. Is it audible to you people?
It's really hard to understand. It's breaking.
Okay.
So what's the topic?
Okay, maybe we can discuss the design challenge. I'm really interested to hear what people have done in terms of their designs.
Yeah, okay, I can start. I've been on holiday, so I've not been able to do all the course content, but I was able to copy the video transcript, so I've gone through the video transcript content. The design that I've done it was a bit of a selfish one because I'm a distributed individual. So I've just put in my assessment what my thoughts are on an ideal course aimed at people studying virtually, not in a physical space. I'm a strong believer that virtual spaces are as helpful, useful as a face-to-face, that people share more intimately and deeply on subjects. I've yet to post it on this platform, but I will be doing it tomorrow. I'm fairly conscious that I'm out of education now for some years. I did an MBA by distance learning at Strathclyde in Glasgow a few years. So my distributed individual classification, I think, would have been radically different if I'd have answered the questions at the start of this MOOC, say 3 years ago before I did any MOOCs. I've got some I've got some strong feelings on the platforms that ought to be used, that the content ought to be open to the course members after the course is finished. I've taken a few MOOCs where the content's effectively gone after the course is finished. So there's a bit of a word of warning there that if people are wanting to keep content for the personal use, then you ought to be harvesting it if it's not clear if the content is actually left there or not. And in some cases, that also includes the discussions, which is obviously part of the course and potentially as useful as the course content itself. And the reason why I'm a community, because we can put all sorts of posts there that will effectively stay there until, for this particular MOOC, I or one of the other two moderators delete the content. On the first MOOC that I did, which was MIT's Learning Creative Learning, that community is still up on Google, and there are people still actually posting to it 8 to 9 months after that finished last year. So yeah, I'm a Google Plus fan. Now, I'm not quite sure if I've answered the question. So like I say, my assignment was mainly distributed individual about virtual spaces where people need to be able to find the course, engage with the course, see the course content, engage with other people in groups that are self-selecting, etc., etc. So that's me.
So I think Augusto doesn't have a microphone, but he just posted a question. Simon, maybe you can answer it about the archives of previous courses.
Yeah, I think I learned the hard way that two of the MOOCs, I think, it wasn't clear whether the content was going to stay or not. So I've now got into the swing that as I go along, I basically copy the web pages, download the YouTube videos, download the transcripts, dump all the links into a Word document, and I'll be using that moving forward for whatever content is valid. And for each of the 6 MOOCs that I've done so far, I haven't got the content for all of them, but the content for all 6 is actually useful for me moving forward, basically. There are tools which are probably questionable as to whether you should be downloading the YouTube videos, but these are all for personal use, basically. If that helps.
Have others posted their designs yet?
No. Yeah. Have you?
No, no. So my idea of a design is something that I've been thinking about for many years. As a private music teacher, I want to open up a music school, and well, taking this course has opened my eyes on different kinds of leaders and learning environments. Something that I was kind of suspicious about for a long time, because I'm not a big fan of the hierarchical setup in high schools where I've also taught. My school that I would like to open would be sort of an open concept with sort of a cafe bakery at the bottom where, you know, parents can mingle while their kids are playing around. This is geared at younger kids, starting at age 3, and then all the way up to maybe teenagers, who would be eventually taking piano lessons in the rooms inside the school. But it would be sort of like a fun place where obviously you would have to have set times for lessons, but I'm kind of now rethinking that maybe the parents could drop off the kids and the kids would decide whether that day they wanted to take piano lesson, or they wanted to just practice on their own, or they wanted to do a band practice because they feel like it, to sort of empower youth, or even kids to have guided learning and to do what sort of they feel like doing that day, or do some theory, or do some other form of art, sort of like John Dewey's school setup, but with more freedom.
And will you be putting the kids through exams, Elena?
Yes. Yeah. Right now I prepare them for the Royal Conservatory of Music exams, which are, recognized anywhere in the world, and they do get excellent results.
And so one of the things that I've been kind of struggling with understanding is if you've got external examination standards that people have to meet, does that necessarily mean that the learning has to be hierarchical?
See, the way I was using that actually to my advantage in a way, if you think about that as being a sort of, because you always have to measure learning in some way. And especially because the parents, are paying for private lessons, I think it's also fair that they have a sense of knowing where their students fall, where their children fall. So this gives them another way, an external, I don't call it doesn't have to be evaluation, it's just another opinion, So I kind of like that.
Understand, thank you.
Well, I actually have a suggestion that you could use an exception of an external exam, since in particular it's music. You could have the assessment be, say, a particular piece that they would perform. So it would be more of you can see the results of their learning through a project, so that you have a project-based assessment.
So what do you mean by that? Give them a piece to do on their own completely as a project? What do you mean?
Either a piece that they could play, or maybe a piece that they create themselves and they can perform it to show what they learn through performance rather than through testing.
Yes, and we do in the school, my mom's school, private school. We have concerts twice a year, so that all of the students get a chance to perform.
That's why you have a tribute left behind.
I have a what? No. Oh, yes. That's right. There's a piano back there.
That's cool.
But I'm interested to hear about your designs.
Me? Or anybody?
Anyone.
My one is posted. You can look at it in the S section, S to Z section. I started by um, doing a kind of a sketch of a building that was circular and that had different spaces, and mine had a coffee shop in the middle too. But um, I changed it midway through because I suddenly thought it sort of reminded me of the place where I went when I was a teenager. I don't know if anybody knows of it. It's called the Chautauqua Institute. It's in It's in New York State near Lake Erie, and it's a very unique place. It's kind of hard to describe, but it started out maybe I don't know, like 100 or 150 years ago as a Bible study, kind of a Sunday school learning place, and then but it was very kind of more academic oriented, and it became one of the first examples of distance learning. So they would send out like a collection of books that were based on the classics, and they would actually establish like these tent communities around the country where people would study, come together and study. So it sounded like I had not thought of it as an interesting example of out of school learning until just the end of the class. So I decided that I would do a critique of it and say what I would change. It's a big kind of 750 square acre, very kind of wooded area along a lake. It has an amphitheater. It has a building called the Hall of Philosophy. It has a lot of uh, music classes, and it has an opera and a ballet. It's become very music centered, but it also has lots of classes you can take on photography or writing or pottery or whatever. But so it's very much based on this kind of uh, self-interest driven learning. But at the same time, it's a very exclusive community. It's kind of basically for rich people. And um, the only reason I was able to be there, since I'm not rich, is that my mother was playing in the symphony orchestra there. So
Oh,
she got
wow.
entry passes for all of her family members. And we could barely pay just the rent for a small apartment based on what she made. So it was a stretch. The whole place is fenced in, and you need an entry pass to get into the grounds. That means that most of the people who live there locally can't even go into the grounds. So I critiqued it based on the idea that it's kind of an out of school learning experience, and very rich, but it's rich in knowledge, but it's not open to the general public. So what I suggested was that they revive their distance learning program by now creating things online, creating a community online that they haven't done at all, and it seems that they should. I thought they could even, stream their lecture series, allow people to take classes by Skype, um, and so my idea was basically to create a kind of a digital extension of the Chautauqua institution. I'll post a link in case you want to go and take a look at it. It's kind of interesting. I'll post it on the Google Plus page. It's quite a beautiful place, so check it out. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Can you paste the link here too?
Yeah, well, I'll paste a link here. And just also, do a search for images on Google, but at least the spelling, it's hard to spell. Chautauqua, it's an Indian word. Native American, sorry. But I just put a link up so you can check it quickly if you wish, and then I'll put it up later.
So,
Rafael, you're new to this. Would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, turn on your mic.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Rafał. I'm from Poland. Well, it's. I'm afraid I'm new here, so um, uh, what can I say? I mean, I'm a teacher, physical education. So, I'm really excited to learn to watch what do you think, what do you tell, what your experiences. Especially, I'm interested for learning for kids. So uh, well, that's all I think for now.
Yeah, but where are you from?
I'm from Poland, Poznań,
Oh,
Europe. Yeah, Europe, Poland. I live here. I teach here. That's about 10 years. So still have fun with that and know much more. But uh, mm, I know there is quite uh, quite. My English is ugly, so sorry
No,
for that.
no. It's
do
quite
not
good.
say that. Do not say that. Because
Yeah.
I came like that too.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'm you know I'm very interesting for any kind of form you go to learners, you go to people and I mean, you get them to dialogue, to trust in what you tell, what you want to tell, to teach, to help them find how it's important. It's not easy. It's not easy. For me, for example, not always I I don't know everywhere in what is important. Uh, so
You mean
I
what is important for learning for that person?
yes, I I try to find way, uh, find tools to explore uh, how to find a good way to find truth, to find answers. Yeah. So it's my point to do which I'm trying to find. Yeah, that's I try to find. Okay.
And do you have a design for this
This,
course? The school design that you like to share?
my school. Yeah, my school is quite. It's a traditional school in Poland. In fact, there is three schools. It's for small kids, 7 to 12 years. Next stage is a gymnasium, like it's some kind of college. 3 years, 12 to 13 to 15, and the next 16 to 19 years. So uh, so so I teach in from 7 to 19 years. My school is 1,000 kids, so it's quite big, I think, school. And it's really difficult to learn, you know, from 7 years to almost 20 years. So it's kind of sometimes it's difficult to you know mm, go from one school from younger children to the older one. But I know it's you know about it's not problem. Uh, but that's my school. So okay. I think it's all from me now. So. But when I talk to, so I'm really interested and excited to what this last hangout when we talk about we professor talk about this what it was, you know, this learning kids. Uh, Hmm. You know, like I don't know the name. It was uh, like in I know this from video. It's like from uh, switch attention, switch processes, thinking processes from one thing to other to you know. Um, Learn to teach switching processes and mind processes. Uh, it's it's a really interesting. So I think I want to explore this way. It's it seems to be very interesting for me.
And Augusto would like to talk about highlights and insights next. So I'm not sure, what do you mean by that, Augusto?
Yeah, me too. What is
Okay. That was quite interesting. I found it very enlightening, the thoughts by Professor Elmore about the future of education. And I think it's a good discussion topic.
The people in my breakout group, they were talking in pretty high level, and they raised the question of whether these distributed or collective learning techniques will work in at the very lower grade levels. You know, because the students don't have the ability to choose really what they're going to need. They may need, for example, just basic math skills, and what if they want to do that? What's going to, how are they able to make the choices? And then Professor Elmore at the very end did address that. He said a lot of the groups had been talking about that, and that's a very common concern. And he said he talked about the recent research in that grade level, and he says that that's actually it's actually possible to do something like that, where you have interest-driven learning, distributed learning, non-hierarchical. But one of the things he talked about was that the neuroscience is allowing us to see how we can develop the executive function, the ability, I guess, to make choices at the very lowest grade levels of very young children. So he handed out some research references on that, and that's in the video. So I guess some of you already saw that. But I happened to see at my school the next day a guy who teaches neuroscience, and I asked him about this, and he said, "Wow, it's still pretty ambitious to try to lower the age at which that executive function comes in." So I think it's quite controversial. So that's kind of, I think, a topic that is interesting to me. Although I teach college, I think that it is a question of how universal these ideas are that we're studying. How do they have to be adapted or maybe modified in some ways, depending on environment. So I don't know. I think other people might have something to say about that.
I was just with a 3-year-old having a piano lesson before this, and I can tell you that there has to be some guided learning because they can kind of steer away from and do whatever seems easier at the moment. Now, I mean, that's also learning, I guess, just in their own speed. But as a teacher, you want to reach the full potential of an individual that individual may not necessarily see in themselves yet. So I'm also very perplexed by that thought. I'm a big fan of neuroscience, so I'm also interested to see what Professor Elmore gave us 2 books at the first on Hangout. He recommended 2 books that I'm going to read to see what's happening on that front.
Just to say that in my particular breakout group, there were actually 2 teachers that were teaching younger kids, like 8 years old, but they were already in the process of what they say, flipping the classroom, where they try out something first and then assess later instead of the traditional lecture first and then work later. And they were saying that actually the students became a lot more interested in the material of their own accord. They were more self-motivated, and they didn't have to put things in the frame of like, oh, you have to get this certain grade for this or that, because they were already diving into the material that way. So they found it was a traditional model, but when they saw it, they saw the effects were happening right away, and they like to be there as a mentor, so that they can guide just as mentoring, but have most of the learning be done by the students themselves.
Brian, I agree with you. There's a few teachers that I know that have been using flipped classrooms very successfully, and on some, like final high school years math too.
I guess. So yeah, I'll go into what I have as a concept for what I was thinking as a design, but it's very abstract as it is right now. What I was thinking was instead of requiring necessarily an expert to guide over everything and having a whole class together, I was thinking of more of a one-on-one of two people of a journeyman level of a knowledge of expertise with a different expertise, and they would teach each other because I found that the best way to learn is through teaching. And the best example of what I'm trying to get at in a practical sense is, say, there's someone who's teaching English who's a Spanish native speaker, and that person is teaching Spanish to that English native speaker. So, like the way that foreign language works, a best example that currently is Spanish over coffee. But I was thinking of taking it to even more so than foreign language, say someone trading their knowledge of statistics, or someone else trading their knowledge of cooking, say, and they would be one-on-one trading of knowledge, but it's very conceptual still, and I haven't completely ironed out the details, and I don't have a lot of time, obviously, but that's what I would like to flesh out.
That's interesting, Ryan. I mean, that's a happening thing in I guess in the higher education areas. I think I once collaborated with one of the MIT student who was developing. He's from MIT Sloan campus, and then he was developing a software called peer teaching, where one-to-one teaching is promoted. Like it goes like a loop. I teach you, and then you teach another one, and then they have come up with a software that it will be standardized, where if I teach you, you should be learning. What you learn should be taught to another person, and the other person should be able to validate it's true, or else did he really understood what the other person taught him. So I mean, people now, I think more with the adults concept, they have realized that learning is much more easy with one-to-one teaching, or else just conversational type teaching, rather than just talking to a whole audience, like transferring knowledge, what they call. Most of the time, I think if you can listen to the talks by Professor, I think not Professor, it's Dr. Eric Mazur from Harvard University, where where he's emphasizing the facts about peer peer, how do I say, peer instructions, the friend influencing the other friend to learn.
Yeah, peer-to-peer instruction, and
Professor
people have been
Eric Masters, right?
Eric Masters, okay,
Mazur.
Mazur,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
And
from Harvard. Mazur.
okay, and then yes, like people have been saying that it gives agency to their particular knowledge, so they're more intrinsically motivated to pay that knowledge forward, and just knowledge for knowledge, not necessarily a tuition-based model as well. Yes.
And this Spanish over coffee, is this in which country is this? This looks amazing.
This is in Houston, Texas.
This is something like meetup.com that I've used in Toronto to practice French.
Yes, it's a lot like a meetup.
But here it's one-on-one, and meetup is however many people want to show up.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Spanish over coffee is what I would like to try to finish conceptualizing, but for more so than foreign language only, but maybe for just anything in general.
Well, I like the layout. It's really beautiful.
Me too.
And the concept too, of course.
Oh, but this you pay for this service?
No, this is only an example. This is not mine. This has been something that I've been hearing over and over from educational radio, and it it's something that I've been thinking about for quite some time already before the class, but I want to finish it. Yeah.
True.
German beer.
Okay, what I have in my mind also sort of like abstracting. I have no like clear specific details of this is exactly what I'm going to do, but this is what I have in my mind. In our country or in our culture, people are more used to go to institutions. For example, let's say I want my child to learn something with a certificate, so they go for like, here's a diploma, here's a master, here's a bachelor. There are so many institutions that offer those things. But uh, what I have in my mind, like for example, if somebody wants to learn some over the, show the subject, for example, let's say I want to learn without going to a diploma level or a master's level, I want to learn some computer, like for example, okay, computer programming. There shouldn't be a certificate, deliberate, programmed, scheduled, structured as diploma in programming, but I imagine to have a club, a learning club where anybody is able to come in, just like we come into a bus stop. There shouldn't be a restriction, age restriction, or else, prerequisite requirement, like you have to have O level or A level pass to join this course or something. There's nothing like that. Anybody could join, but because there's a facility, there should be some sort of a membership fee, or else at least a ticket fees for that, for that space to, the space to be, how do I say, mm, that space has to be controlled, and then, sort of give the facility to the students. So there should be a way that others have to buy the ticket. It's a nominal fee, and then the expert students or else the mentors will register themselves as we are experts on this, and they'll be willing to teach others. So at a nominal fee, it doesn't have to be high standard fee, but there's no certification. But what they will learn will be much more something called experience based learning, or as project based learning, inquiry based learning. There's no, transferring knowledge like lecture halls, nothing like that, but totally on personal agendas.
I like that idea. That sounds a lot like the newer ideas that we've been talking about in class. Um, I'm trying to think of the name of those groups where people come together, and teach each other things that they know about informally, like at libraries and so forth.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think that's combined with the internet for getting the news out, and for using the social media, that could be really powerful.
I think so too. Perhaps like, Facebook club will start, and then it can be taken for geographic areas as well.
Right.
Like, Augment, where these Augment group, have you heard something called Augment study? Not studies. They are the social entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
but they do sort of like enabling anybody to be an entrepreneur.
Right. 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 I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you could it might start slow, but it could grow, and you never know where it'll take you.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Thomas, how does it go?
Well, my contribution to the beer discussion first in the video. I'm again, I feel a bit out of the way because I'm not with children, but similar with Simon, I believe, with IT people in the role of an interim manager actually, and so my teaching is some sort of a guerrilla enterprise in a way, because I'm not even assigned to teach my clients, but just experience their problems and their trouble. And so the design assignment in our course is very challenging to me because I try to use the methods, although in my context, nobody asked me for a learning outcome, not to speak about assessments or scores or for anything. But actually, I'm convinced I have to train the people. And so again, like in the first Hangout we had, I come from a sideway to this course and to this Hangout, and I learn a lot how I could adopt what we have in the course from my context, where I am acting as a guerrilla teacher because the people sometimes don't even know that they are in the learner role when I try to troubleshoot their projects.
What do you do, Thomas? Like, what's your background?
Actually, normally I'm in assignment for as an interim manager or project manager to troubleshoot IT projects in complicated situations. So they call me in frequently in a situation where there is trouble, and I'm some sort of a fireworker in that area. And my conviction is that I'm always in the teacher position, although neither my sponsors nor my direct peers know that I am. They see me as a troubleshooter, as a fireworker, as a moderator or something, but not as a teacher to train them in avoiding situations they actually experience when I can come in. I tried to explain that last time in the Hangout, that this is my feeling in this course, that I'm coming in from not from the center of the subject, but I'm in the position to learn a lot. And actually, what Bob said last time, that I seem to be in the role to use these MOOCs and these offerings in the MOOC context is very specific and meant in a way that I'm as a DI person just am skimming whatever I can get here. And again, today I listen very carefully what you say and from your context and try to adopt how I can do it with my colleagues, learners, pupils, however you might call them. Clients, they are definitely.
And the IT sector is interesting because lots of highly technical people have to go through Microsoft certification on things like Windows, SQL Server databases, etc. And that certification is effectively mandated by Microsoft themselves. Training providers need to be accredited, and you've got to use those training providers to get the certification. So that is pretty fundamentally a hierarchical type structure. But also individual programmers, developers, database administrators can simply search for specific error messages, problems that they're getting while they're coding or working on IT projects. They just Google the problem, and their colleagues all around the world, even not working in the organizations that they're in or the country that they're in, lots of technical staff actually solve their problems by simply using Google and the site results on the search to actually address their problem, which is far more network related, but it's simply people encapsulating their knowledge on what has fixed a particular problem for the greater good, basically, accessible by all. All of us as computer users, if we've got a problem with our computers, I'd encourage you just to type the error message into Google and see if you can actually help solve your own problem, because you'd be amazed at the content which is out there.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, Simon, because you're addressing the problem-solving and collaborate problem-solving issue here. What I experience is the social competencies issue, and you cannot find this in technic forums. And I think this is the real issue, what I experience with projects in trouble.
Yeah.
There are 80% social skills and 20% technical skills that they are lacking.
And that's also interesting because in my design, which is all about virtual spaces and individual learners signing up to courses to do themselves and meeting people virtually, I was thinking, are there any subjects or material that people think that you've got to do face-to-face? And potentially what you're saying there actually falls into that category. It's quite hard actually teaching interpersonal skills remotely, although there are obviously skills in hosting a Hangout, hosting video calls, what the etiquette is for doing that sort of virtual interaction. You know, I'm not sure if you could do like a cookery class, for example, online. It's a bit like Elena's piano classes. I assume that they'd be really hard to do remotely,
I've never tried those before. But I'm pretty sure you could do something like math via Skype, for example, where you have your camera that's set on the writing board, so that, and another camera maybe, so two windows, one facing you as a teacher and one facing the board, so that the students can see what you're writing, and it would sort of happen in real time, so that the students can stop, ask the question, you know, the only difference being you're not physically in the same room. For piano, it's a little bit hard because you know, there's a contact going on a lot with the student, you know, and if I'm trying to demonstrate something, I don't know if it would. I mean, I want to stay open-minded.
Yeah. And then what are you thinking about in virtual orchestra? Not really.
You know that Google did that recently, maybe a few years ago, a couple of years ago. They tried to do some kind of, so anybody in the world could log on to Google and make a contribution to this big composition in one way or another, and then it was all put together, and it was a virtual orchestra in a sense. So it's kind of been
1,000 violin concert.
It's incredible. It's incredible. There are a lot of I know musicians are experimenting with that kind of people from all over the world contributing to a composition at the same time and then just putting it together. It's so virtual composers, and it's amazing. I mean, you know, when you go to the subway every morning and there's millions of people just sitting there all beside each other and not even talking, it just amazes me how much potential is lost right there and then. You know, instead of sharing ideas, sharing knowledge, experiences, we're just, you know, stuck to our coffee and maybe newspaper, and we waste so much opportunity, whereas we here have gathered, on universal time, just to share our thoughts, and what I think Simon mentioned earlier, that there's people not in Toronto that you can just who are taking the same MOOC, for example, at the same time, unfortunately. So I think it's incredible that we're connecting this way, and we did start a conversation on how we can do this beyond this course. So I'll just put it out there because it's a long weekend in Canada. I don't know about your places where you are, but for Thanksgiving, maybe that Sunday, we can aim for around the same time like now, and maybe get together and see where is everybody at.
Yeah.
So I'll send out another Hangout invite. Because this one is ending in the next minute or so. I have to go teach, so I have to end it. There seems to have been maybe some discrepancy about timing because we are using universal time, so I apologize. I hope that it will be more clear for the next one, but I'm going to say it will be the same time hour and a half in the past from now. That's when it will start again on Sunday, August the 12th, unless we decide to change it, of course. So it was very nice talking to all of you. Thank you for all the materials. People have posted some great resources. If you wouldn't mind posting those same resources on the Google Hangout, on the Google community page. That way we can share with other users, and right now there's about 60 of us there from the course, so it's really fantastic.
Thanks for hosting us, Elena.
You're welcome.
Great.
That was a challenge.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Have a question.